You always knew this was inevitable. I know, it really is. We're back with another Gen 6 Wi-Fi battle, and today I take on, once again, Magmapulse. Now, this is going to become a series, believe me, because Magmapulse has taken me on in Pokemon battles more times than you can imagine. This one is actually one of the longest battles we've ever had. I just hope I can be able to withstand it. Let's get this show on the road. I start off with Chansey, he starts off with a Togekiss, and he just starts off right away with a Thunder Wave, not even aware that my Chansey has Natural Cure. Not a very smart thing to do. I go for the Toxic, hoping to stall it out and deal a lot of poison damage, which hopefully I do, believe it or not. Yeah, Magmapulse now has a brand new team, and he's ready to bring on the hell. I don't mind it because I make a switch, Natural Cure kicking in, and hopefully I can be able to be healed up easily. So I send in Electivire, and he goes for a Psyshock, which basically, it's a psychic special attack, but it deals physical damage, which is kind of interesting, believe it or not. Anyway, he suffers from poison damage while I suffer like half damage from Psyshock, and he sends in now Swamp, which is a Gastrodon. Last time I dealt with a Gastrodon, it was so annoying that I had to just literally freak out. Anyway, I make a switch because I'm not taking any chances, and I send in Greninja, and hopefully I can be able to Mature, and he tries an Attract! An Attract? Seriously? This guy just loves to troll and toy with me. Well, he's already toying with me now because, sadly, I'm unable to attack. Oh, wait, I do attack with the Grass Knot. And thanks to it changing into a Grass type, Gastrodon does a lot. It does a lot of damage. However, he goes for a Sludge Bomb, and the Sludge Bomb does, whoa, a lot. Right off the bat, an insane amount of heavy attacks. That is dangerous. However, I feel that was my mistake since I switched into the Grass type. He now sends in Swamp Dragon, his Goodra. Oh wait, another annoying Pokemon I gotta deal with. Yeah, it is annoying. However, the damage wasn't that effective. To make it worse, I affect Gooey, which reduces its speed. I'm making a switch because I'm going to need that Greninja for later on, believe me. Time I send in the Heavy Artillery with Gardevoir. And I trace it, and it ends up getting Gooey. Yeah, very useful. He actually predicted me smartly. He goes for the Sludge Bomb, which does about half, and I'm not taking any chances with it. It's time I Mega Evolve and kick his butt. So I Mega Evolve into Mega Gardevoir. Yeah, I need to fish out the pain, believe me. I apologize about being like a bit out of character with this, but it's just too exciting. I activate the Moonblast, and the Moonblast doesn't really do that much damage at all. He goes for one more Sludge Bomb, and he doesn't take down my Greninja. However, sadly, he gets a Poison Axe. I don't think that makes any difference because he takes me down regardless, so bye-bye, Gardevoir. You tried, but not good enough. You may pretty soon get replaced. Either way, I bring back my Chansey, good to have him back on the field again, but he actually mixes a switch, which is kind of smart, and he sends in Rotation, the Dancing Hitmontop. Yeah, I noticed. And when Hitmontop's on the battlefield, it's like he's dancing, instead of him being like with his head upside down. Yeah. Anyway, I tried going for like the Toxic Thunder Wave, but it didn't work, so I had to make a switch because I'm not taking chances. And I send in Arcanine, and he goes for a Rolling Kick, and the Rolling Kick does some pretty good damage, about 50 or so. He makes a switch because he knows I'm going to try doing a Flare Blitz, and he sends out the most annoying Pokemon I got to deal with. Tip and Dip. It's annoying. And unfortunately, I went for the Morning Sun, which was a pretty smart prediction since I needed to heal up. He thought I was going to Flare Blitz him, but nice try. It's not going to work with me, pal. I go instead for a Crunch, and the Crunch doesn't do much damage. Yeah, that Porygon 2's gotten a V leg. However, he gets a Defense Drop. He unleashes a Discharge instead, and the Discharge does do some damage, but I don't get paralyzed. He goes for a Protect because I think he may expect me to do for another attack. However, yeah, I do go for a Crunch and it doesn't work. Yeah, it sucks. He makes a switch because since with the Defense Drop, it could end up hurting him in the process, and he sends out Rotation, aka Hitmontop. And like before, the dancing. I go for the Crunch, which does do some damage. However, it doesn't since Crunch is a Dark-type attack. Yeah. And I make a switch because I don't want to get hit by that Rolling Kick. And I send in now my Ferrothorn. And I need to set up before it ends up giving me trouble. He goes for the Rolling Kick, and the Rolling Kick does about more than half damage. And it gets a crit, and that's unfair. I don't think that matters because he suffers two things. Iron Barbs, and of course, the Rocky Helmet. And I have to make a switch because I don't want to suffer another Rolling Kick and anything. Believe me, I don't really want to. And I send in my Electivire because I'm thinking maybe I need something to die. He goes for the rolling kick, and it does take down my Electivire, but at least I'm buying some time. I really am buying some time here with this. So I send down my Arcanine hoping to deal out a Flare Blitz, and he actually makes a pretty good prediction with this one. He gets a switch, he sends in Tiz, which I believe is his Togekiss, but I instead went for the close combat, and I didn't do that much damage at all. However, sadly, I suffer a defense and special defense drop, which I think that was a bad play on my part. But the good news is he actually made a pretty smart prediction. So I have to make a switch because I don't want to get smacked by an Air Slash. And I send in my Chansey, my special defensive Wall of Death. And he goes for the Thunder Wave. And like before, does he even understand that I have Natural Cure? He really doesn't. But hey, at least I'm enjoying these battles because this battle is in fact longer than the previous battle I had. He suffers from poison damage and he decides to go for a Psyshock, a special attack that deals physical damage, unlike Psystrike. I go now for the Seismic Toss, and even though normally it wouldn't be that effective, it does 50 damage regardless, since it depends on the Pokemon's level. Same with Nightshade. And more poison starts to kick in. He goes for a Roost, and I don't think that's going to really make any difference, even though he's now restoring his health. However, I get the Parahax, and I'm like, he gets a free turn, that lucky son of a gun. But however, now poison starts kicking in more and more. And he goes for an Air Slash, and I'm thinking, this thing must have Serene Grace, right? Yep, I was right. It gets Serene Grace, which means 60% flinch. And it goes for the poison, and he goes for another Air Slash, and sorry. I get another flinch, but he goes down. Goes down without a fight. Yeah, this battle's going to be long, I assure you. Sorry about that. I got to drink water because commentating is going to do a lot for my throat. Anyway, he sends in Hitmontop, and the Intimidate kicks in, which lowers it down by 1 level. I need to switch because instead, I don't even get a chance. He does a Pursue, which actually was smart. He actually predicted my switch. Not that it matters, though, because I'm now sending out my Arcanine, and I'm now going to bring the pain to him. However, he also makes a switch. It's a switch fest, folks. He sends in Flame, which, believe it or not, I believe is his Charizard. I go for a Flare Blitz, hoping to do some damage, which I'm surprised that it actually does do, like, around more than half. I get a crit, which is actually helpful, but I don't know if it's going to help me in the long run. And now he decides to Mega Evolve. Yeah, Mega Charizard Y, not Mega Charizard X. Mega Charizard X is annoying. Mega Charizard Y I like because its ability of Drought, which brings out the sun and boosts it up for about like 5 or so turns. He goes for a Protect, thinking that I'm going to do another Flare Blitz. However, what he didn't know is that I went for... Oh yeah, I actually do go for a Flare Blitz, and it misses. I actually instead went to go for the Morning Sun. And thanks to the sun that's now on the field, my health's back at full power. Basically, I restored my health up to 100%. He goes for an Air Slash, and it misses. And he decides to make a switch because I know, knowing him, he's actually going to be using it again sometime soon. And he sends out the annoying Tip and Dip, and he traces Flash Fire, and he knew I was going to go for a Flare Blitz. I went for the Flare Blitz, it backfired, and now he gets a Fire Boost. I go instead now for the Crunch, hoping to do some damage, and I actually do some damage. He goes now for a Tri-Attack, and the Tri-Attack doesn't do much. It did like about 60% or so. He makes a switch because he knows I'm going to end up trying again, and he now sends in Swamp, his Gastrodon, and I believe he did it just squarely to let Gastrodon die and take the blow, which I find it to be a good thing, though I don't know if it is going to be in the long run, because remember, we still got 20 more turns to go through. The sunlight is faded, and now things have changed. He sends in his Goodra, aka Swamp Dragon, and I make a switch because I don't even want to get near that thing. I switch into my Chansey yet again. If you guys were to keep count of how many times I would switch, I would be going out on top. He hits a Dragon Pulse, and the Dragon Pulse does like about 40 damage. He instead now decides to go for a Sludge Bomb, and that does even less damage. I go for a Toxic, hoping to stall it out, and the Toxic kicks in, and now I got him poisoned. Now I can just buy time, heal up, and all that junk until he goes down. Pretty simple. Anyway, I decide to heal up, so he goes for another Sludge Bomb, and it does like a bit less damage, but I go for a Soft Boil, and the Soft Boil like heals up more than half. Now I can be able to troll and stall some more. Yeah, this Chansey is basically very bulky, it has a lot of bulk, a lot of HP, and about a lot of defense and special defense. I needed to make it very bulky so it can withstand whatever crap that comes in. He goes for a Sludge Bomb and it gets a crit and the poison. That's like unfair. I don't think it matters though because I go for a Seismic Toss which does 50 damage, but the poison is going to pretty much kick in. However, I get the Gooey, which since I used a physical attack, it dropped its HP like, yeah. I lose the speed. I apologize if I just fished out my lines and everything. It sucks, but what can you do? Anyway, he sends in rotation once again, aka the Dancing Hitmontop. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I made a GIF out of a Dancing Hitmontop. Anyway, he decides to go for a Bulk Up because he knows that the Chansey will withstand anything. That's a pretty smart idea. However, I go for a Toxic, which now I can poison him too. That's right, folks. Chansey's going to spread the poison around. And now he's dancing slowly. Though to be fair, I would try like some sort of effect that would make it feel like he's dancing slowly. But yeah, I think that was a fail on my part. I make a switch because I did my job and now I'm going to send out Arcanine. And I need something to withstand whatever he brings out. He goes instead for a Rolling Kick, and the Rolling Kick actually takes down my Arcanine. He gets a crit, and I believe that helped him out greatly. Yeah, I needed something to die, so this is it. However, now he gets more and more poison damage, because the poison's about to build up soon, folks. Anyway, I send in my Greninja, and he switches, and I know what you guys are thinking. He's going to switch now to Tip and Dip, the most annoying Pokemon I ever had to deal with. Poor God, too. And like last time, he gets the Protean. Oy. I change into the water type and I'm hoping to be able to withstand it, and I go for a Surf and it doesn't do much damage. I go instead now for another Surf hoping to do more damage to this SOB. However, he goes for a Recover and he recovers his health. Now, he's going to keep on going with this because like my Chansey, his is basically all set to troll and piss off people. Which he has been doing so far in this battle. I switch into my Chansey and he goes for another Recover which heals him up completely. So now he's at full health, and pretty soon my throat's about to be dry again. Yeah. I go now for a Tri-Attack. He goes for a Tri-Attack, sorry guys. And I go for a Thunder Wave, and I'm thinking, I'm not playing around with this. Now I gotta slow the ever-living hell out of this damn thing. And now that he's paralyzed, I actually get an advantage now. I go for the Soft Wall, which pretty much heals me up more than half, and knowing him, he's gonna attack again with another Tri-Attack. Now, it's like a battle of the bulk. One side you have Chansey, and he gets the lucky Parallax thanks to a Tri-Attack, that son of a bitch. And he goes for another Tri-Attack. I apologize if I swore. But hey, yeah, I go for a Seismic Toss because now I could just basically troll him with Seismic Toss. Now both of us are paralyzed. The only difference is that I can switch out and use Natural Cure to be fully healed. Him, on the other hand, not so much. I send out my Ferrothorn, and he goes for a Tri-Attack yet again, thanks to Protean. However, sadly, it doesn't do much damage. And, yeah, I get the freeze. I could tell he was literally laughing his butt. We were supposed to do a co-com of this, but unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to. Next time, I promise we'll be able to do another. He goes for another Tri-Attack. I'm hoping to thaw, and no, sorry, but he gets the Parallax. He gets the Parallax, and I'm still frozen. Oh my god, when will it end? He changes into the Electric type with a Discharge attack, hoping to take it down, and surprisingly, he does. Yeah, Ferrothorn gets the record for having to survive, despite the fact he has low health. Holy crap, this battle's already now over 10 minutes long. I send in my Greninja. I go for the Surf, changing into a Water type, though personally I think it was a bad idea, because knowing him, he'll just use a Discharge and do major damage to me. Which he does, and due to the fact that he has Electric now, it does more damage and is super effective. Yeah, that was a pretty bad idea on my part. Really bad. That Tip and Dip is already making me angry. It's already now pissing me off, and I go now for a Seismic Toss, and believe it or not, I actually do the Seismic Toss, which actually does more than half, but he gets the Parallax, and I'm like, yay, now I can finally deal with this piece of crap. I go for one more Seismic Toss, and I finally take down Tip and Dip after like 20 or so turns. Thank God. However, sadly, that's not going to make any difference because now he summons his Mega Charizard Y and his Drought kicks in. Sunlight's already turned harsh. He goes for a Flamethrower, and due to the high sun, plus the stab and everything, it does a lot of damage. However, I go for a Seismic Toss, and the Seismic Toss surprisingly doesn't kill it. I'm like, why? And he goes one more time for a Flamethrower, and he takes down my Chansey, and he wins. My God. Looks like that's another loss chalked up on my record. This battle was the longest we've ever had. I would like to thank you, Magmapulse, as always. You've been a fun opponent to deal with. And I finally took down your tip and dip. Your tip and dip is so annoying. I hate it. And I'll see you guys next time for another battle. Sorry. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. It does mean a lot to me. It does mean a lot to Magmapulse. And it does mean a lot to everyone who watches it, who watched this whole battle from start to finish. This isn't going to be the end, believe me. It's going to be a series, I assure you. I'll see you guys next time with another Wi-Fi battle. Alright, bye guys.